Yeah, we got the 3080 in this guy. All right, here we go. Let's get this. Let's kick this off with a real intro now. What's up, and welcome to another episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. So, well, I guess, or live stream, depending on if you're watching this live or watching the VOD later. I will include timestamps in this video when after I can edit out the beginning, because everything shifts around when I edit out the beginning of the video. So just know that after about 2 days, I should have timestamps for the video. But for the agenda today, we'll be unboxing this bad boy, taking the bottom of the laptop apart or off, and then we're going to see the internals, see what the heat pipes look like, kind of do an analysis of that. Then we're going to put the bottom back on. We're also going to see the upgradability when the chassis bottom is off, so we can see what what kind of how upgradable the machine is going to be. And then we're going to turn it back on. We're going to install Timespy, install Cinebench R20, and then Cyberpunk 2077, and check it out how it performs in Cyberpunk 2077. And then that'll be the live stream for today. Of course, I'll be answering any questions that I see in chat as well. Now, MSI did send this laptop over for me to review, so big shout out and thank you to them. It's supposed to have updated BIOS and firmware already done, so we shouldn't have to do that part unless a new BIOS was released since they sent it to me. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this. Let's go over the specs real quick. Can you guys see the specs clearly? Okay, so we've got an i7 10870H. This might be a little hard to read. Let me make this a little less blurred out there. That should help. All right, so we've got an i7 10870H, a 17-inch display, 300 hertz refresh rate, IPS level, they say. I don't think it's actual IPS, but RTX 3080, 16 gigs of VRAM, 1 terabyte SSD, DDR4 32 gigs with 2 times, so we've dual channel 2 times 16 gig sticks. Now we don't have an optical disk drive, and for our we have a wireless with Bluetooth. They don't say. I think it should be a Wi-Fi 6 though. Windows 10, and this is the U.S. International keyboard version. Titanium blue, black, dark blue, black is the color scheme. So this is the GE76 Raider 10UH231 US. Yeah, cool. Let's check it out. Are you expecting to see the Lenovo Legion 7 anytime soon? I have an order on one. I don't know if it's actually going to come anytime soon. I don't have an official Lenovo Legion being sent to me yet. I know that some other tech reviewers have got them, so we should be able to see some reviews and performance kind of evaluations of the Legion lineup. So I'm excited to check out other reviewers. Honestly, like I enjoy watching and experiencing other reviewers almost as much as I enjoy reviewing the laptops myself. Obviously, it's much better to have it in person, but I love watching all the different reviewers out there. Man, there it is. Okay, so I can tell already this is a bit thicker and a bit heavier than any of the other laptops I've reviewed so far, but not by much, right? It's you can see right here, it's a right here in particular, it's probably 1.2 inches thick or so. I don't know. Right at the thickest point where this sits up and then this sits out. There's the bottom right there. And you can see you can kind of get a glimpse of all the heat pipes coming in between here. I think focus is, there we go. Okay, there's the focus. Let's go ahead and I'll show you this again. So you can see we've got kind of a thick bump here and a bump down here. So it's definitely a bit of a thicker machine, but you get a lot of extra power as well. And because of the metal build, it's a little bit heavier as well. So yeah. Shiny, what does it smell like? Smell test? Okay. MSI aren't doing QHD on any of their gaming laptops, are they? I don't think I've seen any yet. I don't think I've seen any yet either, Tech with Sean. So yeah, now let's take this off. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts. Oh, yes. Now the problem is that's not going to be very sticky. Let me just send this back to MSI, so I don't know how I'm going to stick it back. Okay, that is very clean. I love the metal lid, and I love the design they have on this too. Okay, so let's go around the sides here. We got a USB-A, full-size SD card slot, USB-A again. These are, I'm sure, fast USB-As. Oh yeah, you wanted to, what does it smell like? Kind of has a new car smell, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of like you get like that like manufactured kind of, metal and glue kind of smell. Now we've got a big exhaust port here on the right, another big exhaust port on the I guess the other right. I guess the left of the back if you're facing the back, but it's kind of the right if you're facing the laptop. We have a mini display port, a USB-C, and I think this one, I'm not sure if this has USB-C power delivery or not. I have to check. The Ethernet, HDMI, and I think this is a 2.1. Let me just pull up MSI specs so I can make sure that I give you the right breakdown on these ports. Because the ports on this I think are some of the best overall. And let's see here. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So this, I guess it says HDMI 4K 60 hertz. So maybe not. Maybe it's just a HDMI 2.0. Um, okay, and this is actually so we have our HDMI, and then this is actually our power plug right here. Let me see. I can show you guys this. Make sure this is in focus, but yeah. So mini display port, USB-C, Ethernet, HDMI, and our power port. And then we have another exhaust, another big exhaust, and our Kensington lock port, and a USB-A, another USB-C, and then our headphone mic combo port right here, a headset port. Looks like this is a speaker, um, like a speaker grill panel right there, and then also on this side, there's a little same cutout. Let's open this sucker up. Oh, I guess we gotta we gotta see what else is in the box too. I think it's just the power plug and the warranty card though. Keep in mind, like I said, this is a review unit from MSI, so. And sorry if I'm missing some of your questions. I will try to go over chat again here in a moment. Okay. I just want to get this starting and downloading updates and all that stuff, and that'll be able to interact with chat a little bit while it does that. Okay, so that's a pretty substantial power brick. It's a 208 watt Chicone power technology. So if you need to order an extra one of these, that's what it is. And we got our power cable here. And just your kind of standard, pretty long power cable, which I really like having some extra length there. I think if you were to order this, the main thing, if you were to order a second one of these, the main thing is you want to make sure the MSI adapter is on the end here, because this is a very unique proprietary adapter thing that only MSI uses. So just got to keep that in mind if you're ordering a second adapter. GY Tuber says drop test. Oh God. Jais Kai says, Alienware M17R4 also has 150 watt, but there are just so few YouTubers doing reviews for it. Yeah, I think the reason why Alienware hasn't been reviewed very much is because, uh, at least I think Alienware is kind of waiting to send out review units to people because they're waiting for the Intel 11th gen to drop, and then they'll probably send out a lot more review units. Okay, and then here is our warranty card. I guess the last reviewer person to review this laptop did not open this. We're going to go ahead and open it. I feel a little bad, but whatever. XXYT says lick test. Oh. Oh God, no. Okay. So this has looks like a bit of a user guide here with some like F3 hotkey recovery function, it says. So I guess this is a guide on how to recover the laptop. There's just in a lot of languages though. Let's see what it says. If your hard drive and system encounter non-recoverable problems, use the F3 hotkey recovery mode from hard drive first to perform the system recovery function. Before using the system recovery function, please back up important data saved on your system. So apparently F3 allows you to enter recovery mode, which maybe is useful if your laptop has a problem. So is this the most powerful GPU in the laptop on the market? Um, it should be tied for the first or very, very close because the Alienware M17 R4 also has a 150 watt. But the thing is, the Alienware M17 can boost to 165 instead of this one can only boost to 155 watts. Um, so in theory, the Alienware should come out ahead in some titles, but if that's only in games where the GPU can fully boost all the way to the maximum boost clock, which is not going to happen in that many games, really, if we're being honest. 3K plus for this bad boy? No, I believe this one costs, is it 28.99? Let me check. GE76 3080. 28.99. Yes, that is correct. And this laptop has been coming in and out of stock. So if you've got your heart set on this laptop, you should be able to buy it as long as you watch the retailers fairly close. It seems about once a week or so they'll come in stock for a half a day or a day, and then they go back out of stock again as they get sold out. Um, okay, so quick start guide. Looks like they have a little guide for all the hotkeys and also all of the different ports selection here. This actually looks a little bit more detailed than, uh, interestingly enough, this one's a little more detailed than the tech specs on the website. So the USB ports are USB 3.2 Gen 2. Um, and then, yeah, so I don't see 18. Okay, they don't say whether it's an HDMI 2.0 or 2.1, but I'm guessing it's a 2.0 because it's only a 60 hertz on the specs page. And then we have our limited warranty. This should have a 12-month warranty on this guy. All right. Hey Gizmo, I bought the new M17R4. What's your thoughts on it? I haven't been able to check it out myself, aka Place. What do you think about it? I think it's arguably the most powerful gaming laptop on the market, most likely. But it should be very, very close to this one or nearly tied. Um, and I think the main thing with the Alienware M17R4 that I don't like is that it doesn't have a mux switch. So you're either stuck with full performance mode or you're stuck with like, so basically you have full performance mode with bad battery life, or you're stuck with Optimus only. So you kind of have to decide, pick your poison, which suboptimal system do you want? Whereas the GE76 has a mux switch, so it allows you to switch between dedicated graphics and the running Optimus. So you have the best of both worlds basically with the GE76. So let's go ahead and get this plugged in and turned on. And oh, I closed up. Wow, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I love the design on this laptop. It's got such a nice metal finish. It's shiny. The keyboard feels amazing and it's so quiet. With these headphones on, I can barely hear the keyboard typing at all. Actually, I don't think I can hear it. I don't even have any music or anything going on. So M17R4 does have a mux with G-Sync only in the 144 hertz panel, though. Really, Byzantine? That would be news to me. I know the M15R4 has advanced Optimus, which is very attractive to me. I'm really interested in the advanced Optimus. So I thought the Alienware were pretty much the only 150 plus watt ratings. No, this one is 150 watts. The Alienware M17 is 150 watts. And then there's also a thick Clevo chassis that's also 150 watts. So there's at least 3 laptops that can go all the way to 150. Now for the power plug, can we plug this in both ways? Yes, so the power plug is reversible. You can plug it in forward or backwards. And hey, look at this. We are already set up with Windows. That's so nice, MSI. Thank you very much for pre-setting this up. That saves me like 5-10 minutes of time. So this should already be up to date, but we'll want to make sure. Okay, let's see here. I want to make sure that the so cooler boost. There's the fans ramping up. So that's max fans. I just enabled that. And there's a hotkey for that with FN and F8. Now we're going to open Dragon Center. Let's go to Windows Update. Check for updates. Oh, we got to get connected to the Wi-Fi. All right. Okay. Legion 7 full load is 165 watts. Nice. So the M17 is 150 to 165, which means it can boost to 165 when the CPU is not really under load. But so that means that under dual loads, basically, uh, you're going to have very similar performance when CPU is engaged. How loud is this? Not that bad. Like I'm listening right now without a headphone over it, and Max Fans is really not that loud. Like I'm guessing. Here, I can pull out my sound meter real quick while this is downloading. All right, let's check it out. How loud is this bad guy? This is not going to be a technical examination at all of this, but it looks to be. Let's bring you guys in close. Um, I'm not going to use this number in my review. Keep that in mind. Okay, here's the. There you go. Max Fans is roughly 55 decibels. So that's pretty reasonable for Max Fans. Like most laptops hit around 56 to 57 decibels with Max Fans, and so this one hitting only 55 is pretty dang good. It's probably like 54.5 to 55. Okay. Miko Oreo says, thoughts on the Acer Nitro 5 9th generation? So if you can get the Nitro 5 9th gen with a RTX 2060 at a good price, say around $800, it's, I think, an incredible deal. Like I've seen that for sale a bunch of times. 144 hertz, 200 RTX 2060. You can't always buy it, but when you can, that's a great option. Okay, so we are going to take a look at this keyboard and trackpad. Um, so, we got spam. Yikes. Stay unprotected. We are unprotected, y'all. And we're about to get even more unprotected by removing McAfee. Let's see here. Was it McAfee? Which there was an antivirus. Not McAfee, apparently. Where is it? Norton. Norton Security. Makes me a sad panda anytime I see pre-installed spam like this. Uninstall and remove all user data. Okay. Yeah, so the Nitro, no, some more thoughts on the Nitro 5, Miko Oreo, is that it's a great overall budget laptop, but just don't go in expecting like a really premium chassis and build quality. There's going to be a good amount of flex in the keyboard. The display will probably have some ghosting, but you're going to get enough gaming performance to just have a good time gaming. And if you're just looking for the cheapest entry to having a good time gaming that is out there, then the Nitro 5 is close to, if not the cheapest. So this is installing Windows Update, so I don't really want to restart right now because of Norton. Okay. All right. What's up, Lantech? So someone else says, hey, Gizmo, how come pretty much every single reviewer only ever reviews gaming laptops towards the competitive esports crowd? I want to know how this game will run at max on modern MMOs. BDO. So BDO should run really, really well. I'm actually, uh, I was like a BDO addict for like a long time. For not no long time. Okay, for like 10 months last year in 2020. That's how I escaped. That's how I had like fun. I forgot about the corona. Was I went and got 300 and I think I'm 301 AP in BDO. in like about a 8 or 9 month section of time. I got up to 320p. It was like 640 gear score or something. But anyway, okay, enough of that. It should run BDO great though. This kind of laptop should absolutely be awesome for BDO. Um, so is that all made from plastic? So let's get into the keyboard and touchpad. No, we were talking about that, getting into it. Let's go ahead and take a closer look here. All right, so starting on, scooch this back a little bit more. All right. So we got the light bar in front. This thing is awesome. Um, not gonna lie, I really, really like that. Let's see here. I need to figure out, there should be a hotkey to increase and decrease. So that's for the display. Okay, so this is for the keyboard. Okay, so this F10 and F11 does the keyboard brightness, but it does not do the front bar. So the front bar is a separate control, I guess. All right, so I kind of wish this was a brighter backlight because it's kind of hard to see. I got really bright kind of like studio lights around me right now, but so it's kind of hard to see the keyboard and how awesome it looks. Let me try turning them off really quick. Oh yeah, that looks freaking sick. Daniel Mikhail with the super chat. How do you feel about the GTX 1660 Ti laptops? I purchased one for 1K from Costco. A Lenovo Legion 5i, an i7-10750H, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gig SSD to 1 terabyte HDD, 144 hertz screen. So for 1K, I feel like you can do better than that. It's not that the like 1660 Ti is a good GPU. It's just I would say at $800, it's a good deal. Because the 1660 Ti is just pretty lackluster compared to the new RTX 3060 laptops. Um, just performance-wise, you're going to get a lot less performance, and then you also don't have RTX and DLSS as well. So very cool backlight, as you can see here. This thing is very awesome to use at night. That's when this thing will just be really, really popping. Though I wish the backlight was just brighter. Like look at the brightness of that, and then look at the brightness of the Scar. This is just pops more, you know, on the brightness side of things. So, but overall, really, really cool look for the GE76 without a doubt. Okay. All right. So it looks like Windows update is ready to install. So we're gonna go ahead and restart. Um, once we get this done, let's go ahead and we'll take apart the laptop, see what's inside. Um, so let's go ahead and do a pressure test. Coming around looking for flex. Basically, no flex, no flex, all the way across. Like it looks like this. There's just a little. Looks like we're out of focus. Okay. Wonder why it's struggling to focus right now. That's weird. Okay. All right. So coming across here, very little, minimal, like basically no flex, really, really rigid right through here. Coming in the middle here, a little bit of flex by the keyboard. Not bad at all, still pretty strong. On the left side, basically no flex. Coming around the top, no flex. Let's go through the middle of the keyboard. Very minimal flex, very rigid chassis, a little bit more flex over here by the shift key. And then right here. So there's two kind of little bit of flex right here and right here. But so here and here, but that's about it. Really, really rigid chassis. Let's go ahead and take a look at the display rigidity. Whoa, really rigid display. I mean, we got this all metal lid, so it makes sense. That's very nice. I really like that. It's sold out. I can't find this MSI. So, Dunamis, if you check my RTX 3000 spreadsheet linked in the video description down below, I do check the stock on this every day, twice a day. And so I know that this thing does come in stock. fairly frequently. Um, it comes into stock and then it goes out of stock very quickly. So just don't expect it to how you say, don't expect to have it be in stock for a long period of time. You have to stay on top of it because this is definitely one of the high demand laptops out there. I'm getting used to the keyboard spacing. So these keys are a little bit different size than what I'm used to. Um, Come on, there we go. A little bit different size than what I'm used to. Overall, I do like it a lot though. The keyboard has a great feel. All right, let's bring this guy in. Which antivirus do you recommend? Um, I honestly don't use an antivirus aside from what Windows automatically includes, and I'm just really smart with what I bring onto my computer. If I get an antivirus on my machine, or sorry, if I get a virus on my machine, which has happened before, I'll reformat the drive and reinstall Windows. That's what I do. Um, so yeah, that may be unintuitive for some of y'all, and if you're like a business person that needs to have like your stuff backed up and carefully managed, then that's totally fine. Get yourself an antivirus or whatever. I just don't like them because they have pop-ups. They slow down your computer randomly, and then they don't really do anything as long as you're very careful with what you download. Um, so, do you know if the 4K 120 hertz display output to an external screen at the same output if the screen supports it or higher? So to be able to export 4K 120 hertz, you need a certain display outs. And so I know HDMI 2.1 does 4K 120 hertz, and I'm not sure if DisplayPort 1.4 does 4K 120, but I think it does. And most of the laptops that came out this year does have DisplayPort 1.4. And the reason why I think that it should be able to is because I can use the DisplayPort 1.4 with my Pimax 8KX, which has two 4K displays at 90 hertz, which is more than 4K 120. It's like 50% more, or yeah, 50% more than 4K 120. It's like three 4Ks, like 4K 180 hertz, basically. Um, do you think they will release the 17.3-inch Stealth with the 3080? I don't think so, Taz Productions, because I think they would have announced that by now. I think they probably dropped the GS75. So if you want a GS75 Stealth, you're gonna have to go with a you're gonna have to go with last year's model, I believe, for right now. So this is only at 60 hertz. I could tell because the way I can tell what hertz the display is at just by looking at it is how quickly and smoothly the mouse updates. Um, so I can set this to 300 hertz, and there, and I can see the mouse being like drawn in much more frequently. All right, let's go ahead and check for updates again. See if Windows Update installed correctly. How much nits does this laptop have, King? I'm not sure. I have to use my measurement tool, and that takes like about 45 minutes to get all the software installed, set up, and ran. So I don't do that during the live stream. Butter. Yeah, buttery smooth. Alessio. 300 hertz is amazing. Okay, so it says we're up to date. Let's just have a check again though. And let's check our MSI Dragon Center as well. Okay, so in the Dragon Center, you can see we have best for mobility. Let me move. Oh, I gotta. Oh, eh, there we go. Let me remove this mic so I can see the display better. All right, and so you can see best for mobility charged to 100% all the time. Balanced, which is probably what I would recommend for most people. This will charge the battery at up to 80%, and it'll charge it when under 70%. And best for the battery is to charge it up to 50% and stop at 60%. So this is the best. If you want the battery to last as long as possible, you want to do best for battery. And then whenever you go on trips, you're going to know you're going to unplug it for a long time. Switch it to best for mobility or balanced, because this will make your battery in your laptop last many years longer. So Yeah, so this is highly recommended to do. And I do this on my Scar 15. I usually run it at 80%, or maybe even 60%, depending. So then again, with my Scar 15, I have insane battery life. Okay, Josh Steinecker says, thank you for the great gaming laptop breakdowns. I almost didn't buy an M17 R4 because you've not reviewed it yet. Glad I did. Hope you get one to review. Yeah, man. I can't wait to hopefully get an Alienware M17. I've got an M15 R5 coming in. Um, but Alienware said they were going to send me an M17 at some point. So hopefully they send me one. Dude, M17 sucks. Get a Razer. What? LOL. You make me laugh. Is the GP76 worth it too? I think so, Tony. I just haven't seen it for sale very much at all, really. What do you think about the Alienware M15 R5 with AMD? Is it worth the 1440p display with the 240 hertz? Yeah, I think so, Bruno. I think that's going to be a great display. And I think that laptop's going to be amazing. Like I said, I've got one of those uh, AMD versions of the Alienware M15 coming in eventually. Okay, so can we check for updates in here? I don't know if this has any kind of update tool. Always update right here. Looks like you can click on the Microsoft Store icon and it pops up with a window here. This is probably up to date already, but you never know. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take the bottom off, right? We got to take the bottom off. Yeah, it says wait, no, it's downloading a new version of Dragon Center. Let's let that download here. What's the best 17-inch? Um, Probably this one or the Alienware M17 R4 in terms of pure gaming performance. If that's all you're after, you just want to play games at the highest frame rates. The best all-around 17-inch, I would probably pick the Scar 17, the Asus Strix Scar 17, because it's going to have slightly lower gaming performance, but you get a Ryzen processor with better battery life, better thermals. Um, and I just really like the Scar look and layout, keyboard, um, lighting. It's a great all-around package. And nice, really nice blend of portability and performance. GE76 versus the Razer 17 Pro. Okay, so the Razer 17 Pro, unibody chassis, freaking awesome. I love it. Oh, it errored out. Okay, I'm guessing it errored out because we already have it installed. Oh, it had to close the Dragon Center. Okay, so it did update our Dragon Center now. A new update is available. You want to update? Okay, well now, okay, we're updating. We got to update our update. So the Razer in particular is awesome because of they have a 4K 120 hertz display option for the Razer Blade Pro 17. I love that. I do have a Razer Blade Pro 17 right down there. It's the laptop I used for about 10 months last year. Um, I love it. Didn't love the keyboard, and also the reduced performance of the lower TDP kind of sucks. Um, but you do get a super slim profile, and if you're just mainly playing more casual games, not super competitive games, or if you have another like a desktop and a Razer, then the Razer you can take on portability with a great display and great overall gaming performance, still like good enough gaming performance. Um, and then you have a desktop. Like I've always had a desktop and a laptop, so my desktop is where I do like my really competitive gaming, and then if you have a thin and light machine, smaller machine, you can use that for your more casual gaming. That said, I think that the Razer is still enough for the vast majority of users, even competitive gamers, to play on. So the Razer Blade Pro 17 is a really good system. I think a lot of people will still love it. It's just not as high performance, not as much bang for your buck, and I think it caters towards a very specific type of person that has, I guess, extra money compared to your more budget conscious person. So if you're at all on a budget, it's hard for me to recommend the Razer Blade Pro 17 because you just get more performance and a slightly thicker chassis. Like this thing is thicker and beefier than the Razer, but you're going to get a lot more performance, like probably around 30% more performance out of this guy compared to the Razer Blade Pro 17. Um, I'm going to scoot this light over. There we go. Now we don't have a giant glare on the display anymore. Cool. Okay. I think the best display for RTX 3000 series cards is the QHD 165 hertz. Yes, but actually the QHD 240 hertz. Like some of the Razer blades have 240 hertz. This is taking a long time to install. Okay, it was because it was erroring out in the background. That's why. Looks like it's not going to be able to install. Or maybe, okay, it's making some progress now. Okay. Activate the mux switch. Yes, we will. YNJ1. We will do the mux switch. Best 3060 laptop for gaming. So the best 3060 laptops, if you don't care about thinness, then you can get a thicker one with a higher wattage TDP. And I think that's where you're going to get your best bang for the buck. But like if you want something that's a blend of portability and performance, probably something like the Aorus 15G with the RTX 3060. It's 1,500 bucks, but you got a mux switch on there, so you get battery life and performance. And then it's also I think 105 watt TDP, so it's like a moderate wattage TDP. And the thing about the RTX 3060 is it doesn't need as much wattage as the RTX 3070 and 3080 to get near peak performance. So 105 watts is pretty good. It gets you like 90% of the potential performance of the GPU. We need a Scar 3080 versus this machine. Byzantine, that's not a bad comparison. I got my Scar 15. I could do a comparison between these two, but I don't have a 17-inch version, right, of the Scar 15, so, or yeah, the Scar 17 versus this 17-inch version. It'd be probably a little better to compare the GE76 versus the Scar 15. Maybe the Zephyrus Duo would be nice with the extra screen. I think the Zephyrus Duo would be awesome for the extra screen for doing all kinds of things, including trading stocks. Like I would love to have the Zephyrus Duo 15 instead of the Scar 15 because I do spreadsheets all the time. Like every day for like 2 hours a day, I'm doing the RTX 3000 laptop spreadsheets. And if I could have a secondary display where I could put the spreadsheet down there, like I could put the spreadsheet down on the bottom and then I could look up the stats or check the stock on the upper screen, oh, it'd be great. Um, but yeah, that laptop is hard sold out. So good luck buying that one if you're having a hard time buying the other one. It's probably the that's a top three most desirable laptop, I think. Okay, we are ready to take the bottom of this laptop off. Let's do it. Would you call this GE76 a decent replacement for a desktop 3070? Yeah, it's going to be very close to similar performance. This might be just a tiny bit slower, but not much. No stock for the Ryzen version of the Zephyrus Duo 15. Yep, no stock. Oh, yeah, maybe it says it's in stock right now on the 3070 version? Really? Nice. No Roblox, sorry, Zayed. Does the Gigabyte G5 have 80% battery limiter? I don't know, Eric Ortega. There might be third-party software that you can download to do battery charging limitations. Let me see here. Did this thing fully turn off? I think it was no, I said it's restart. Okay. Here we go. It's time to take this sucker apart. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna put the headphones down while we take it apart. Here we go. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Sorry about that, guys. So this is the iFixit toolkit. This has plastic prying tools that won't scratch your laptop. And then this also is a plastic prying tool, like a little toothpick. Um, and then depending on what laptop you have, you may need to use all kinds of different screw heads. So this has like every type of screw head you'll need to take apart any laptop. And this is the type of toolkit you can buy once and not have to buy again for the rest of your life, as long as you don't, lose it or whatever. So highly recommend picking something like this up, especially since it's magnetized and it's easy to take laptops apart without damaging them. And it'll be that way. It's one of the things that you'll invest in, and you'll never regret investing in good tools. So there's a link in the description down below to this, and that does help support my channel if you decide to pick it up. So no big deal. If you don't want to, if you already have something out there, you don't really need to for this laptop, because this is just Phillips head screws taking this apart. But yeah, so it's just I've used it over and over again to take apart all kinds of different laptops, and all the laptops I've had, a lot of them don't have Phillips head. They oftentimes have like T5s or T6s, and if you don't have that kind of screw head, then you're kind of screwed if you wanted to upgrade it. Plus, the magnetized screwdriver really helps in taking the screws apart. Like you can just pull them out like that. We got a lot of screws on this guy. We have screws in the middle, screws on the side, like 4 screws on each side. Looks like. See, like these screws right here would be really hard to get out if you didn't have a magnetized tool. Like they're stuck in there and they barely come out at all. Like if I was trying to take this out with my finger, it'd be really hard to get that out. I have to like kind of pry it up sideways, but magnetized tool just pulls it right up. Pulls it right up. Do you think a $1,500 GS66 RTX 2060 and i7 10875 240 hertz display and a MUX is worth it for Fortnite? That'll play Fortnite really, really well if that's the game that you want to play. Because that laptop has a really high TDP on the CPU, so you'll have great Fortnite performance. Um, yeah, and that's a pretty reasonable price, $1,500, I think. Oh, that's only a 2060. Yeah, that's a bit pricey on the price. I would probably pay 1350, 1400 for that. Probably is probably what I recommend. I wouldn't pay $1,500 for that because you can get an RTX 3060 for 1,500. Okay, I think all the screws are out now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 screws. Okay, so let's see if we can get this laptop. Not sure if there's any trick. Doesn't look like it slides. Looks like it just pops. There we go. So just gently pry it up, going around the sides. If you find one area is like not wanting to come undone, switch to another area and like go around until it's ready to pop out. Like, don't force it in one area. That's what I found. Okay. So not very upgrade friendly. Now, I mean, this is reasonably upgrade friendly. It's just not like super upgrade friendly. Like it's not like super easy to get it off. Like this back portion of the laptop's not wanting to pop out for me. Got one part of its pop. It's slowly coming, but I just trying not to damage it. You know, you want to be careful not to damage it. That's why plastic tools are so important. If you do this with a metal screwdriver, you will like mar up your computer so fast. So, is that everything? That might have been it. No, it looks like we got still stuck in somewhere. This is a pretty extensively snapped in. Hmm. It's almost like this little back cover needs. There might. Let's see here. I'm gonna check the chat. Uh, okay. Nerdy, message me about messages being hidden another time in Discord. MSIs are a pain to open up. Always break a tab or two, I think. Yeah, I really don't want to break anything here. Like I've got it popped out here, and that's kind of the weird part. So, okay, there we go. Finally got that side to fully come undone. There we go. All right. All right, so we'll leave it loosely on there and set it back on the table. Cool. All right. Take that top strip off. Yeah, and maybe you need to take that little strip off to get it, but yeah, there you go. So there's the top cover off. And here it is. Let's go and raise it up a little bit more so we can get a closer eagle eye view on top, kind of a top down. Cool. All right, so there's the internals of the GE76. We've got our 99 watt hour battery. This is the biggest battery you can have in a laptop, at least and fly with it, which, you know, all pretty much all manufacturers abide by that 99 watt hour limitation. So very cool. Now we have our speakers right here, and those look like some pretty beefy sized speakers. I'm curious what those sound like. Um, Looks like our two M.2 slots right here, 1 TB Western Digital SSD, and then we have another PCIe SSD slot right here open for upgradability. On the right side here, we have our Wi-Fi. See if I can find the name. Um, what kind is this? It's hard for me to read it. It's a really tiny font. It's an Intel Wi-Fi AX210 NGW. So there you go. All right. That does seem smaller than your normal Wi-Fi slot, though. It's like a skinnier version. So You'd have to, if you're going to upgrade this yourself, you might have to do something special to upgrade it. And here's our um, two RAM slots. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull out the battery. There we go. Battery's disconnected. Let's go ahead and take out the RAM and see if it's double-sided. Should be. Yes, it is. And this is Samsung RAM. Here is the RAM stick number, if you guys want to take a closer look at it. So it's 16 gigs, 1RX8, PCI 4, 32AA, SA2-11 Samsung RAM. So I believe the 1RX8 implies that it is single rank, but it is double-sided RAM, so hopefully we get improved gaming performance out of this RAM, these RAM modules. So we should get good gaming performance out of them. All right, so we can plug the battery back in now. Okay. All right, battery's back in. All right, and now let's go ahead and take a look at the heat pipes. So this is our GPU heat pipes, and wow, there is a lot of them, right? So we've got a dedicated heat pipe coming out here to the right side. So this allows both sides of the fans. We've got a 4 exhaust fan system, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have one dedicated heat pipe to the CPU here. And we've got a skinny heat pipe dedicated to the CPU over here. So I really wish that we had like a fatter second one here, and then it would wrap all the way around. Because I'm pretty sure we're going to find, like based on my reviews I've seen so far of the GE76, the CPU runs a bit hot, but the GPU is super, super cool. So I kind of wish we had like transferred a little more priority to the CPU. But we'll see what performance we get in the actual benchmarks. But that's kind of the CPU layout. I wish we maybe had one more heat pipe here, or maybe like we had a one shared heat pipe between the GPU and CPU. But it's a very interesting heat pipe layout where we have very, very good coverage of the GPU because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dedicated heat pipes just to the GPU, and then we have 2 dedicated heat pipes to just the CPU. So no shared heat sinks here at all, though our exhausts are shared here. So the heat fins themselves that disperse the heat will be shared between the CPU and GPU. Okay, let's go ahead and put the cover back on. So basically what that means is that the CPU temperatures and the GPU temperatures in this machine will be very independent of each other. Like some laptops, you know, like for example, the Zephyrus G14, that laptop, when you spike the CPU, it directly affects the GPU temperatures and vice versa. If the GPU temperatures are being spiked, then it's gonna affect. So I'm just popping this back in. You guys can see that in the alternate camera. But is the Evu laptop good? I'm not sure. I have never reviewed an Evu or seen them in person. So it's probably like a Tongfang chassis or something along those lines. Tongfang or Clevo chassis, probably my guess. I don't know though. You have to. I think I've seen them listed on Newegg's site. Is that where they are? I don't know. I don't know if they're any good though. I can't get this corner to pop in. So this, what is this? The front left corner doesn't want to go in. I'm gonna try popping it in first here. Yeah, there we go. So it kind of needs to be bent down a little bit to get behind the LED bar. Okay, I think we're fully popped in now. Fully popped in and evenly distributed. Cool. It's a bit of a harder chassis to take apart and put back together, but it's very tight. Um, very, I'm sure what the right word is, but it's very like snug. Like everything's snug fit, which is what you want in a very premium chassis. Like the razor blades are so snug. Like there's no looseness or loosey goosiness to the razor blade chassis at all. Okay, let me check the chat. I haven't read chat in a hot minute, so okay. I don't know how people can recommend the Tongfig laptops. The keyboards are horrendous. Um, I haven't heard the keyboards are that bad. I have yet to have them at all in person though. Like the electronics Tongfang or like the XMG Neo 15 or from the Prometheus. Like I have yet to have that in person. So see them in person. I've just watched reviews on them. I've watched a bunch of reviews on them, and they seem like the reviewers seem to like the keyboard. It's not like a huge negative to them. So I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. So in terms of like MSI's build quality, I will say this much: that I think the GE76 and the GE76, and probably the GP66 and 76, they're like I think they're a cut above the other series. um, like in terms of rigidity and the premium feel of the keyboard and the chassis and everything. Like the GS66 and 76, they're nice. They're not bad, but it's just like you can tell it's not a stick of metal. Like they're designed to be lightweight and very portable, and like the GE76 is designed to be a freaking tank. This thing's a tank. It's a moderately portable tank, which is nice, but like this thing is not it's designed to take a beating, it's designed to survive, it's designed to last a long time, I think, and higher TDP limits. And I really like this chassis and build quality though. Taking it apart was a bit more challenging than most other laptops, I will say that much. Do you know how to limit the battery on the Omen 15Z? I'm not sure. I gotta like look up. There's got to be some battery charging utility or something that allows you to control that on all the laptops. I haven't looked for one. Okay, and there's all the screws in back into the same exact holes. I think everything is tight. Let's just double check. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I think everything's good to go. Okay. Very impressed overall with the thermals. I think my only critique is I wish we had one big, thick shared heat sink between the CPU and GPU. I think that would probably help a lot with the temperatures. All right. Let's do a one-handed screen opening. I'm pretty sure this will work just fine though. Yeah, one-handed opening works just fine. Nice balance of tension. All right. And need to plug this guy back in. There we go. All right. So when you take the bottom off and unplug the battery, usually you have to plug it in to an AC outlet before you can turn it on. A lot of laptop manufacturers are that way. Okay. All right, there's a benchmark on the G76, the 3080. Overclocking it will have about a 15% FPS boost on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I don't know about that much, Jies, because Shadow of the Tomb Raider is very CPU bound. Maybe at higher resolutions. I don't know. And looks like the syncing software just synced my other background. So let's go ahead and go back in and change the background to the MSI background. Okay, we'll go in here to our sync settings. There we go. Cool. I'm dying. An Asus logo on the MSI. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here is the customizable load bar. So this is if we want to customize this light bar in front. And yeah. Okay. Now, let's see here. Is there a way to do color shift? So I can pick the colors that I want to color shift between, it looks like. Oh, that's cool. And I can change how intensely I want them to do the color shift. Oh, and so if I want it to be mainly yellow, I can be like, make it more yellow and just like expand it out. That's cool customization. I like that. Oh, well, we have an error. Light part customization. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the mux switch. All right. Bam, bam, bam. Stream performance. Cooler boost enabled. All right, now this is also a place where you can do minor overclocking, but I generally recommend using MSI Afterburner to do your overclocking if you're more interested in like maximizing your performance. But this will let you do like a basic overclock if you just want like an easy one, like add 50 megahertz or add 100 megahertz, and add a little VRAM as well. All right, so general settings. Okay, so here's the mux switch right here. Under general settings, GPU switch, you can go to hybrid graphics mode. This is like with Optimus enabled basically, and discrete graphics mode where you just go straight to only the NVIDIA GPU. We're already in the discrete mode. We do have a webcam on this laptop as well. Check that out. That's nice. And there is some screen wobble when I tap the screen, but it's actually pretty stiff, if I'm being honest. Like this is a very stiff hinge. I like the hinge very much. Is Fortnite CPU dependent or is your GPU more important? So Swervesy, the way Fortnite works is once you have enough GPU performance, it becomes CPU bound. If you have a really weak GPU, it might be GPU bound. And it also depends on what settings you run it at. If you run it on, let's get Cyberpunk installing. Um, if you if you get Uh, if you run Fortnite on low settings, it's going to be much more CPU bound, if not entirely CPU bound. But if you run Fortnite on high settings and epic settings, then it'll be GPU bound primarily. Is Warzone CPU or GPU bound? Warzone is CPU and GPU bound depending on what area of the map you're on. So if you're on like the middle of a city, it'll be CPU bound. If you're out in the wilderness, it'll be GPU bound. And it'll also depend on how many players are around you as well. So yeah, there's a lot of variability when it comes to games. Even within some of the games, it can vary from inside the same game, it can be CPU bound in one area and GPU bound in another. So that's why you really ideally want to have powerful CPU and GPU. Getting all the installers installed and brought over, and might as well install Intel XDU, though it's probably already installed. Okay, cool. Copying everything over now. All right, will a 6-core i7 and RTX 3070, 130 watt, be good in Warzone? So Warzone benefits from more cores. So ideally, you want to have, honestly, like it can use all the way up to like 16 cores. That's why like the Ryzen processors do so well in Warzone. Um, and so in the ideal world, you want to have like, I don't know how many is the best, but for example, I think the best processor in Warzone I've seen is the Ryzen 9 5950X desktop processor, and that's a 16 core processor. It outperforms the Intel 10 core i9 10900K. So, um, So yeah, if you're going to be a Warzone player, I do recommend getting an 8-core processor, whether it's Intel or AMD, because it will use those extra cores. And there's also a setting in Warzone where you can check, you can change how many cores is being utilized by the game, and by changing that setting, it will allow you to, for example, take advantage of more cores. So best gaming laptop for $2,100. Here, let me go ahead and get my spreadsheet out, and I can go over my top picks right now at the different price points. And we can take a look at what's in stock right now because it varies from day to day. But let's go ahead and get Cyberpunk installing, and then get this rolling before we jump over there. Jump over to the spreadsheet. Gives us something to do while we have things install. All right, and cool. My 2060 ROG laptop can do 100 FPS in Warzone, so I don't think you need to worry about it. Nice. What's the best? That's pretty good frame rate for a 2060. But keep in mind it is CPU bound depending on what area of the game. Psychedelic says, "What's the best gaming laptop you can get around summer for editing, unlimited budget?" I mean, I need more than that, Psychedelic, but if you want like the very best editing thing, I'd probably recommend a Ryzen 9 5900HX processor laptop with a high TDP. So probably like the Zephyrus Duo 15 with the 5900HX, because that's a killer processor with the highest Cinebench score I've seen so far. Um, okay, gotta put in this code. But I've added all the Cinebench and Timespy scores to my RTX 3000 spreadsheet, which I have linked in the video description down below. I'm trying to collect basically basic benchmarks on every single um, laptop on the market and putting them all on that spreadsheet. So it makes it, I think it's going to make it so it's a lot easier for people to decide between laptops. At least they get a good idea of performance right there on the sheet. And I'm trying to link directly to all of the places where I got the benchmarks as well. So okay, so Cyberpunk is installing. We are installing. Awesome. And I'm gonna go ahead and queue 3D Mark as well to install, though that's really small, so that should go pretty quick. Ooh, well, Cyberpunk canceled. I guess it wasn't quite done allocating all the stuff. Unlimited budget for laptop for gaming and editing. I would get the gaming laptop with a 3070 and 3080, a QHD screen for gaming, and a MacBook Pro for editing. If you really have unlimited budget. No, I mean, for a video editor at a reasonable budget, moderate portability, I think the Zephyrus G15 is pretty awesome because you get the beautiful QHD display with a close to 100% sRGB. Sorry, 100% Adobe RGB. I think it's like 93%. So like the Scar 15 also has that. The Scar 17. The Zephyrus Duo 15 can have a 4K 120 hertz display. That's going to be awesome for editing and for gaming. Um, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the spreadsheet. Well, so we're downloading Cyberpunk. We're gonna be able to check that out here in about probably 15 to 20 minutes, whenever that's done downloading. And then we're installing Timespy as well, and then we'll be able to run the benchmarks as well as check out Cyberpunk. Let me pull up the chat because I'm about to go into the. There we go. Okay. So I'm about to go into the spreadsheet here, so I won't be able to read chat. Um, let's make it straight on. Yes. Okay. All right. And like that, and like that. And we're gonna zoom in some. Cool. Now let's go ahead and I'll swap you over to the spreadsheet view. Cool. All right, and then let's move me. I don't know. Let's put me. We'll go over here. Sure. Okay, and we'll put my logo right over my face. Cool. All right. Okay, so here's my RTX 3000 spreadsheet comparison list. For those of you that haven't checked this out, let's just go over the basics. So you can check out, here's a little guide on how to use the sheet. I recommend using a PC or at least like a tablet to check it out. Using a phone to check this out would be pretty difficult, but you can do it too. Now, I am currently adding benchmarks to the ratings, and I'm basing the ratings kind of off of a combination of the benchmarks plus whether it has a mux switch or advanced Optimus, the combination of those things. And so yeah, and then I've sorted this main list by price, and this main list has all of the RTX 3000 laptops that are currently on the market for sale. There are some other ones out there that are like exclusive. Maybe Costco has some like exclusive ones that only members can buy. I don't list some of those on here. And I don't list every configuration of every laptop, but I list like most of them, like all of the major changes usually. Now I have rated these laptops on price to performance, CPU performance, Cinebench, GPU performance, and now I've added Timespy, and I've also have a premium rating. So the price to performance is just like roughly how much performance you're getting for your money, as well as maybe factoring in some of the premium aspects there, kind of minorly, but not really. That's not the main focus. It's mainly what you're getting, like your CPU, GPU, display, RAM, and SSD size for the money. CPU performance is just going to be like a combination of multi-core performance and gaming performance. And then Cinebench R20 mainly measures just your multi-core performance and mainly your multimedia performance. This doesn't necessarily indicate exactly how much performance it's going to get in CPU-bound games, but it will influence it somewhat. So it's just going to depend. So know that gaming performance will not necessarily be lining up with this exactly, and that gaming performance will line up more closely with this column. GPU performance is going, and that's for CPU-bound games, like the CPU performance for CPU-bound games. Now, for GPU performance, this is going to mainly be um, based on like a rough, pure graphics potential performance, right? So CPU-bound games like Far Cry 5 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider will not be reflected in this GPU performance category. That's mainly going to be your CPU performance right there, right? Or a combination of the two together. Now, these Timespy and Cinebench numbers, I have found all of these. Either I have collected them myself, but probably about half of these I've collected myself now, or maybe not half, but about 1/3 maybe I've done myself, and then the other numbers I have found on a website. So I link to where I find them. So right here, for example, here's where I get Cinebench R23. Here's like my Timespy score. So if you want to find where I found these numbers, you can click these links, and then these will take you to like users who posted these benchmarks. So oftentimes they do like a mini review along with the laptop, um, like posting saying, "Hey, I got this RTX 3060 Asus TUF A15." So it's like really rare to find a review of that laptop right now. Like almost no reviewers have it, but hey, there's one right there of a user that posted some some benchmarks. So that's where I pulled this 7805 from, and then so basically it's a really nice blend of hopefully useful benchmarks, you know, that will help you guys in deciding. Now, some of these are going to be estimated, so I'll mark them as EST when I don't have a hard number to base it off of. Um, so keep that in mind as well. And what I do is I take the TDP of that laptop, or what I think the TDP will likely be, and then I find a similar spec with a similar TDP level, and I'll just estimate rough. I'll just put down like um, what the estimated value will likely be based on a similar TDP laptop. It's blurry. Yeah, I've linked this sheet in the description down below as well, guys. So we're downloading Cyberpunk, but it's not downloading super fast. I wonder what's going on because it's only downloading at 5 megabytes a second. We should be going faster than that, y'all. Let me try. Let me try going back to here so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. So you can see right here, Cyberpunk's going pretty slow, 5.2 megabytes a second. Let's do a speed test. I'm guessing we need to update our Wi-Fi driver. Because at the rate that Cyberpunk is downloading, it's going to take a long time. Yeah, we're only getting 50, 60 megabytes a second. So let's see if we can get, um, see if we can get a new driver for this. So we're just going to go to MSI's website and check out the support page. Okay, so I'm checking chat again. Sorry, guys, about not checking chat at the moment. Do you know if the MSI will be offering Raider series with AMD CPUs? So I think all of the different manufacturers will eventually offer AMD versions of their laptops, or at least the vast majority of them will. Um, but it's just there's a limited supply. There's a limited supply of laptops out there, and that is the way it is. Um, sorry, there's a limited supply of Ryzen 5000 CPUs out there, so they can't put them on all the laptops. That's what I'm trying to say. Trying to do two things at once is difficult. Okay. Wireless LAN. Here we go. This is what we need. Okay. Warzone is MSI GP76 with an RTX 3070 and i7 10750H good for 120 FPS Ultra Warzone. I don't know if you get 120 Priya, but you probably get close to at least 100. Um, and in the CPU bound games, you might get a little lower than 100, but in the GPU bound games, you'll have really good performance. So, like in the rural areas, you probably get 120 in the rural areas. Yeah, the hot laptops are out of stock, just like the GPUs. Ziggy, yeah, that's right. Tech with Sean, I'm talking about Fortnite. Swervesy, I did answer you already about Fortnite um, being CPU versus GPU bound. I don't know. Dunamis says, I think the Razer Blade Pro 17 QHD 3070 is the best laptop for 2.5K. I don't know about that, but it's a great blend of premium with moderate performance. I don't think I would give it best laptop though. Okay, we're probably going to pause our Cyberpunk download so we can get this Intel download done. It's taking forever. All right. So we need to extract this. All right, let me pull up chat again. I see you getting drivers from MSI USA. I have a Razer and can't find drivers from Razer. Where do you get the drivers for your Blade Pro? So Raptors fan, you just got to keep looking on their website. They have them there. Um, you just got to keep looking, but you should be able to find it. I hear that the 11th gen Intel refresh is going to raise the prices on all of these laptops, like the GE76, by a few $100s. Better to buy a GE76 now with the Intel 10th or wait for the 11th gen. I don't know, but I've seen a number of price hikes on laptops now. I've seen, I think, probably 4 or 5 laptops go through price hikes. Basically, if the laptops have been sold out nonstop, following extensions are blocked. Pi extension.inf. I'm not sure. Basically, if the laptops have been sold out nonstop, and been in very high demand, then I think these companies are no longer incentivized to price them competitively, and they'll just ramp the price up by a couple $100, and then they'll ramp the price up again and again. So until they don't sell out anymore, it's like supply and demand, you know. I'm trying running this as an administrator. So following extensions are blocked. Okay, maybe there's another way I need to run this. Hmm. Docs. Maybe this has a little MSI. This is not an intuitive way to install your driver. They should really modify this. Plus, all of these languages, all of these languages, they don't have. What is this? A warning? What? Release notes. Okay. Um. Intel Pro Set Wi-Fi. Maybe I just got to go download a different driver from another website or something because this one is not wanting to install. TIC file. What is a TIC file type? TIC files are kind of GS. They also add data files. Hmm. I don't know. The setup didn't want to run. Let's try the Windows 32. This software package cannot be installed in your system. What? What? Okay, well, I'm guessing we might be able to just go into our device manager and install straight up in the device manager. Network adapters. Hey, this Wi-Fi 6E AX210. So that's our file. Let's see here. Wi-Fi 6E Intel AX210 driver download. Let's see if I can get a different file to download for this. Windows 10. Wi-Fi drivers. This looks like the right one right here. Let's try this one. Okay. Time for a beer. Pretty much Jimmy, LOL. So is this the Wi-Fi an issue with the driver or with the Wi-Fi card inside? This is almost for sure a driver issue, not because this is a Wi-Fi 6E. This is like the latest type of Wi-Fi, faster than Wi-Fi 6 even. So, wait, did it not download or what happened with this? Oh, I just have to accept. Oh, it did download already. Okay, it found it. Looks like it's installing. Cool. Hopefully this improves the Wi-Fi speed for our download speed. Um, yeah, it's just a shame that you have to do this. This should be done out of the box, really. Looks like we got to go for a restart. Okay. Can the Zephyros Duo play the latest games maxed out? Psychedelic, pretty much yes. That's going to be true for the RTX 3070 and 3080, though it's going to depend on what frame rate you want, because some of the games you might need to reduce some of the settings. You know, you can expect very similar performance from the Zephyrus Duo 15 3080 as my Asus Strix Scar 15 that I did a review on. So check my reviews. Um, you'll get a little bit better performance from the Zephyrus Duo, I think. Just a slightly higher TDP, like on the CPU and stuff. Gentek PC is not on your list, but they will be getting Mini GE76 in stock mid-May. Well, we'll see. I think a lot of different people will get the GE76 in stock. It's just going to come into stock and out of stock, you know. And the Gentek PC is on my list. They are in my list of retailers. Okay, let's find out if we got faster Wi-Fi now. Not gonna lie, people are overthinking too much. Like getting the best of the best isn't that worth it sometimes. A lower tier device is just enough. Swervesy, that just depends, you know. Like if you want to keep the laptop for 5, 6 years, you know, you want to make a careful decision. Um, you know, I can understand it. I kind of side with people, I guess, that crave getting the best of the best. Okay, let's see what see if we can get faster Wi-Fi speeds now. No, just 7 megabytes a second. Hmm, hmm, hmm. I don't know why it's going so slow. Dun dun dun. Well, I really want to do Cyberpunk 2077, but this is going to prevent us from doing it. Did this install properly? I thought it did. If I run this, maybe I need to because it's showing that it's needs to install my driver. It says it's been. Yeah, I don't think it installed anything different right there. I think it just recognized like is it did a bigger thing last time. Wonder if there's a wireless tool. Killer Control Center. Why do we have Killer Control Center on here if it's we don't have a killer wireless card? Sometimes things like the Killer Control Center will bottleneck your downloads. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. Hmm. Hi, is an Asus M15 2070 Max Q good, or should I buy the G14 3060? I would buy the G14 3060. I have not heard very many good things about the M15 2070. Shwoody Woo, just took a sick day and set up my Steam VR on my Scar 15 3070. Oh yeah, nice, man. Nice. Dude, I am loving VR. I have been playing way too much VR. Pimax 8KX is an incredible VR headset, and I'm really looking forward to making my review of that when I get the time. Um, and I did use it for a while on my Scar 15, and it ran surprisingly well considering it's pushing two 4K displays. It's just some of the games you kind of have to turn down resolution. So I'm trying to see if there's a way for us to optimize this Wi-Fi somehow. There's got to be a way. Like I feel like I'm connected to the wrong type of channel on my Wi-Fi right now. Let me check. Let me check on my Scar 15 to make sure that it's. Let me make sure that my internet is actually running fast, right? Like, because maybe it's something with my modem right now. My modem needs to be reset or something. Because I'm actually plugged wired in right now on my Scar 15 to ensure that I don't lose connectivity. 9ms. Ooh, okay. So I'm only getting. Wait, no. There we go. My Scar 15 is. My Scar 15, I think, likes to lag. I hope the stream is not lagging right now. Okay, so my Scar 15 got 136 with the speed test, so it's going faster. Hmm. I had to find the most updated driver to get the full speed, Nero says. Yeah, maybe. That could be it. Stream is fine. Good. Is there any updates going on in the other system that is dragging down the connection speed? I don't think so, because this 9 megabytes a second is like one of the speed limitations of the is one of the speed limitations that you run into if you don't have the right. See, it says right here, network band 2.4 gigahertz. That's our problem. We need to be on the 5 gigahertz band. Maybe this is. Hmm. Like we need, yeah, that's the problem. We're not connected in the right way to the Wi-Fi. Maybe if I disconnect and reconnect it, is there a way to set like is it the problem? I have Google Home for my Wi-Fi, like I have a mesh network for Google Home, and it has my 2.4 gigahertz and my 5 gigahertz on the same name, so I can't choose between them. How to pick 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi channel instead of 2.4 gigahertz. I don't know if this video probably is not going to help, but how to change preferred band. Maybe this looks promising. Wireless adapters run 2.4, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Under advanced preference, preferred band. So open device manager. Under advanced inside. Okay, so let's go into device manager. Let's see if we can do this. Advanced. Preferred band. 5 gigahertz. All right, let's see if that okay, so that just disconnected me from the Wi-Fi. Let's see if it reconnects me. Let's see if that helps. 6.6 megabytes a second. Oh man, this is gonna take a long time to download all of my games. If I have to download a terabyte of games at 9 megabytes a second, this is gonna be a long time. Is the i7-10750H bad? No, it's not a bad processor. I think it's a good processor for general use and gaming. It's just not as high performance as what you'll get with an 8-core. Please do not repeat your questions, guys. I will try to. If I don't answer your question within 5 minutes, then you can repeat it, but just don't repeat it back to back to back. Manage properties of the adapter in the device manager, and you can disable 2.4. Ooh, I can disable it. Let's try that out. Because it looks like we connected back to 2.4 gigahertz again. So if we could disable 2.4 gigahertz, that might help us out. The other option is I could try to get a cable plugged into this thing. I could set it to 5 gigahertz channel width. Let's see here. Where do we disable 2.4? My preferred band is set to 5 gigahertz. I am not sure what the best option here is. Hmm. It's just easiest to change the band's name so you can easily put them on the bands that you want. I think you choose the option for the 5 gigahertz band and it excludes the others. Yeah, maybe. We can try it. Okay, I'm going to click it to value 5 gigahertz for the Wi-Fi. That disconnected me again from our Wi-Fi. Let's see if it can find. It's not finding my Wi-Fi anymore. Hmm. Maybe this Wi-Fi card's not compatible with my router or something for 5 gigahertz internet. I think this is a Wi-Fi router specific issue for me. I don't think this is going to affect other people the same way if you have a different router. So do keep that in mind. Let's try N wireless, see if that does anything for us. I can see my router again. We're still at 2.4 gigahertz though. Let's see here. Yeah, I cannot see my Wi-Fi again. I had the same issues on my Zephyrus G14 Ryzen 3900 3060 laptop. I had to update the drivers to fix the Wi-Fi 6 on it. Interesting. Hello, sir. Legion 5 Pro comes with 140 watt 3070. Will there be major performance difference in the Strix G17 and 5 Pro? It'll be pretty minor, but probably the bigger difference will be if it has a mux or not. And I think the Legion lineup should have a mux. That'll make a bigger difference than that. Like a 10 watt difference is not that big of a difference. So I'm setting them to both the 5 gigahertz mode. I don't think this is gonna, it's not liking it. Yeah, it likes it when I set it. It can find my Wi-Fi at least. It's just not fast. So let me see if I can get a wired connection to this thing. I might have to move the laptop just so I can get this thing downloading. And then we can, I don't know, go over the spreadsheet or something for a few minutes. All right. Cyberpunk is downloading fast now on a wired connection. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, well, let me grab the mouse here. Okay. ScriptTech, I already answered your question about will MSI be offering Raider series with AMD CPUs? I think all of the major brands will want to offer that. It's just a matter of time before it can happen. Okay, so let's take a look at the spreadsheet. All right, and I'll try to make some. Let's go over what I think about some of these benchmarks that I've found so far. Some of the laptops that stand out to me, because Cyberpunk's going to take 10 minutes to install or whatever with the fiber internet wired in. And then we'll be able to go back to it. Bring the laptop back over here. Okay, so um, first of all, the one that stands out to me for really low budget, say under 1,200 bucks, we got this Gigabyte G5. It's got a 6-core Intel CPU that has a really high power limit. It can go all the way up to 100 watts on the CPU, which is way high. It spikes really high in temperatures too. So I actually don't recommend that. I recommend setting that lower, like reduce it down to like 50 watts or so, maybe 45, maybe 40. And you can do that with Intel XTU as well. But keep in mind that if you use Intel XTU to do that, it's going to reset your power limits every time you load Windows, which is not great, right? So um, you can use throttle stop instead. And if you use throttle stop and just uninstall Intel XTU, throttle stop will prevent the power limits from being changed again. So that's what I recommend. It'd be uninstall Intel XTU and install throttle stop, and then you can set this to a really good CPU power limit. And then you got RTX 3060 that goes all the way from 90 to 105 watts. And it gave us a Timespy score of 8235. And the biggest thing here is that you get great GPU performance for 1099, and it's a 240 hertz IPS 72% NTSC, which is close to 100% sRGB. So it's a really good, like a really, really good competitive high response rate display with a great GPU for 1099. It's a great deal. And I think this price may have increased, um, I believe. So keep that in mind. Okay, taking a look at the chat here. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Thank you guys so much for all the comments. Um, Gizmo, can't wait until you try gaming on it and see if the keyboard gets hot and makes you uncomfortable. Oh yeah, the GE76 is a spicy laptop, huh? I suppose that's one downside of the metal chassis. The metal chassis will tend to spread the heat to the user more than, like, for example, the Scar or Strix series. It's plastic, like a high quality plastic, just doesn't catch the heat as much. Um, okay. I got my Asus Zephyrus G14 from Best Buy and I love it. Nice, Nero. It's a great little laptop. Especially if you power limit the CPU, you get good temperatures on it too. Okay, so other ones that stand out to me. Look at this, the Legion 5 right here with 130 watt RTX 3060. I found this benchmark for 8915. Um, and let me see. I'm gonna hyperlink all these. I initially started just putting them into the comments. So, but I'm going to change all of these over to be hyperlinked so that you can just click on them and go straight to it, which will be awesome. Make it a lot easier. Oops. Let me make sure this is the right link because that does not look like the right link. That is not the right link. Crap. Okay, I got to figure out where I got this Cinebench score from. Okay, well, either way, so this is the Legion 5 Cinebench RTX 3060. Look at this graphics score, 8915 for an RTX 3060. That is really, really good. Though I don't know if this was overclocked. So, but it's 130 watts, 115 plus 100 plus 15 watts. So, um, really, really impressive Timespy score. And it kind of shows you the potential of the RTX 3060, like the maximum potential of it. And it also shows you kind of the range, right? Because like the Zephyrus G14 got like, I think it was let's see here, Zephyrus G14 is right around here. Here it is, 7465. So this is a lower wattage. I think it's an 80 watt, 85 watts. So 7465 is kind of on the low side. And then on the high side, we got 8915. And some of these are even lower. Like look at this MSI GF75 thin, we got 7041. Um, oh, I didn't get the link for that. I gotta try to hyperlink some of these. I go back and find them and hyperlink them to where I found them. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make all of these clickable as anytime I find the actual benchmarks. So a 2000 point gap between the best and the worst, which is a huge variance. And this is $170, but that's like a huge performance gain, even though it's the same GPU. Whiplasher with the $5 super chat. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate the support. I own the GE76. Check to see if your mouse pad looks right. Some have a dip in the bottom right. Some also have system lag with different power modes. Interesting. I have not heard of that. Let me take a look at the touchpad real quick, and I'll see if I see any dip on it. I do not see a dip on the touchpad. It looks really flat and even. And I haven't so far noticed anything with the touchpad. Yeah. Jai says, "Are we allowed to comment on the spreadsheet? I want to put something on once I receive my M17R4." So if you have a benchmark, Cinebench or a Timespy, you can email it to me. Um, just screenshot it and explain which laptop it is. And I want all as best I can. I want all of these benchmarks to be stock highest performance settings. So whatever you know, whatever the highest performance setting for that machine is, like just set it to that and then whatever the stock is. So like max fan mode with, high performance mode enabled, plugged in and run the time spy, run the Cinebench, and that's basically what I want for the for all these numbers right here. Cyberpunk says it has 4 minutes left on the install. By the way, it's almost done. Do you know anything about Exotic? So Exotic PC, I tried buying a laptop from them a long time ago, but it took too long for them to ship it out, so I ended up canceling my order with them and getting a refund. That was like 10 years ago. Um, but I know there are plenty of people that have bought from Exotic and been happy with what they get. Uh, so not bad necessarily, but yeah, my experience with getting them to cancel my order was not great. And also, like, I felt a bit jaded afterwards because I was like, this is supposed to ship soon, right? And then it didn't end up shipping, and then I ended up canceling. I'm just like, this is taking way too long. Um, but that was, like I said, that was a long time ago. So I'm sure the company has changed a lot in the last 10 years. Um, yeah. But in terms of, are they a legit company that will send you a laptop? Yes, they are a legit company that will send you a laptop. Not my top recommendation for where to buy though. My top recommendation is Best Buy, and the reason is because it's so easy to return it. That's really the number one reason, and then also the fact that they have a great warranty service. So, and you'll notice that a lot of the laptops I recommend are from Best Buy on the sheet here, like Best Buy here, Best Buy here. And anytime I have Best Buy available, I'll try to put it at the front right here. You see, because it's like my top recommended for I mean all the major retailers at least. I put Best Buy as my number one place. Another option is buying directly from the manufacturer. I think that's another really good choice, like buying directly from Dell or HP, because they always prioritize their own stock, um, oftentimes before retailers. So like before B&H Photo, Adorama, and Best Buy get it. Usually, like Dell, for example, will have the laptop in stock most often. So you'll oftentimes get it shipped sooner and everything, buying directly from the stores. But that just depends. Like sometimes it's weirdly in stock at Best Buy and not in the other places. So, okay. Gentek and Micro Center are where I got my last two laptops. Super happy with both. Yeah, I've heard good things about Gentek. I like HID Evolution, ZTech PC. Um, good things all around for their customer service for those three companies. I definitely would recommend those three companies over Exotic. Um, but again, I think oddly enough, Best Buy is my number one recommendation. Um, just because really good customer support, you can pretty much go anywhere in the country to return it if you need to, and yeah, really good warranty. Okay, VidFinex, what kind of programming? Okay, I'm not sure if I want a 1440 15.6 inch or 1080p GE76 17 inch. So I do think QHD upgrade in the resolution department is very noticeable on a 17 inch. Um, like I'm that is one downside to the GE76. Uh, like I've been using the Scar 15, which is a very sharp QHD display, and then when I switched to the GE76 17-inch 1080p display, it's like I can definitely see these pixels. Um, but I do have really sharp eyesight, and I've been used to higher resolution displays for a long time now. So I think it's probably done installing Cyberpunk. Let me check. Okay, so it is done installing, but it's installing like the other like DirectX and stuff like that as it launches. So I'm gonna let it get through that, and then I'm also download Timespy real quick on the fast internet connection. So I also realized I should download the NVIDIA drivers as well. So give me a minute. All right, I got it all downloaded, I think, maybe. All right, so I'm gonna try using the touchpad a little bit in my experience with it. Something I noticed just now is that you can still run max fans, even even with the laptop on battery mode. Because my Scar 15 cannot do that. Whenever you unplug the power, you're limited to just the silent mode and performance mode. And so if you want to run max fans, for example, to keep the chassis really cool in your lap, like if your laptop is, um, like for example, if you're trying to play a game on battery life and you want to keep the laptop really cool in your lap, having max fans running can really help reduce lap temperatures, though it will drain the battery faster. So I just noticed that it was still running max fans even when it was on battery mode, and I was like, hey, that is awesome. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch us back over to the laptop. I am installing NVIDIA driver here. Honestly, higher res on laptop is not enough. CPU Direct is more important than 4K built-in screen. So I don't think going to 4K is really necessary at all on a 17-inch display or smaller, because you cannot really see discernible increases in resolution. I don't think beyond 1440p on a 17-inch display. Going above 1080 is noticeable. Going above 1440p is really not for me at least, and I have very good eyesight, so your mileage will vary though. I don't know. I recommend. I think the QHD 165 hertz to 240 hertz is the right way to go. Okay, best $2,100 gaming laptop suggestion. You forgot to answer my question, Master Gizmo. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, so we're waiting. We're waiting for this to install anyway. Let's just flop back over to this. Best $2,100. So looking at right here and up. All right. So best performance. If it was my money for $2,100 right now, I would probably go Alienware M15 R4 with Advanced Optimus. Because you get Advanced Optimus, you get 144 hertz display. The base price right now is $1,800, and because it's $1,800 and you want to go up to $2,100, that would allow me to spend some money on an increase to the SSD size. So you could get probably a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte SSD, and you could add that in plus the 256 gigs, so you get like 1.5 terabytes or maybe even a 2 terabyte SSD for that. I'm not sure how much SSDs are costing right now for a 2 terabyte SSD. Probably a couple $100, $300 or something like that. So yeah, you could probably do that. So you get this one and get an SSD upgrade, and then you get a high-powered RTX 3070 with Advanced Optimus and kicking butt. Oh, another option would be the Alienware M15. Oh, that might be even better. Yeah, I'd go M15 R5, Ryzen 7 5800H, because then again you have G-Sync and Advanced Optimus, and it's a 15-inch display, so a 1080p display is okay in my opinion. And yeah, so yeah, and then SSD. I don't know. I really like Advanced Optimus as an option. It's really really cool. And then other good options though besides that one, we've got the Aorus 15G. This one has a MUX. We've got the Strix G17 and G15, also really really great options. They don't have MUXes, but they have really cool RGB lighting, which is just freaking awesome. And they have really high TDP, and you get the Ryzen 9 5900HX in them. And then the other great option under $2,000 would be like the Zephyrus G15 with an RTX 3080. This is now the cheapest laptop with an RTX 3080, the only one for under $2,000 with an RTX 3080. So, but notice that its Timespy score is really not that dramatically better than like even the 3070, like right, like the 3070 is putting up a better Timespy score than this 3080. But what this G15 gets you is a QHD 165 hertz display, which is just like I said, QHD is awesome, and this is a really high color gamut display, so it's like it's the same display I have in my Scar 15. So all the Zephyrus G15s come with that same display, so you don't have to be super picky when it comes to that. Yeah, so those are the options under $2,100 that I would consider if it was me. What do you think? Did I miss any really good options? Is the Acer Nitro 5 good? It's check out my review, Unknown. I've reviewed the Acer Nitro 5. Does the RTX 3080 in this laptop boost to 165 because the one in the M15 R4 boosts to 165? So the Alienware M17 R4 boosts to 165. The Alienware M15 R4 I don't think boosts to 165. It has a lower TDP. I think it's like 140 or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna log in here. I'll just leave the screen on the spreadsheet for a moment while I log in. Might as well, right? So you guys have something to look at. What? Wait, I shouldn't be logged into Google already. Oh, MSI left. MSI left this. I'll sign out. MSI left their Google account logged in. Looked like a generic one though, so not a big deal. It was like MSI 001 or something like that. But that's pretty funny. All right, we'll disable in-game overlay. That's the main reason why I want to open this. And then we should be fully up to date on the drivers. Okay, let me switch back to the laptop now. Cool. Okay. Well, we're ready to benchmark this guy now. Let's do it. All right. So, interesting green tinting going on there. Let's make sure. I'm just going to double check, make sure our mode didn't change, but we should be in extreme performance. Cooler booster enabled. Very nice. And then we're on discrete graphics mode, so our mux is switched over already. And then, oh yeah, we need to install Afterburner and run HWinfo. And, ooh, did I not copy Afterburner over? Cool. Here's HWinfo. I always run that in the background. And then I also run Afterburner in the background for all my benchmarks. So that way everything's consistent. Benchmarks. MSI Afterburner. Cool, cool, cool. Let's get this installed and we gotta get it set up. For some reason, we've got like this green tinting going on some of the window options. Metal frame will heat up. You get used to it or you despise it. Ziggy, the metal frame heating up will definitely be alleviated a little bit if you use max fans. Though I imagine it's still going to get hot because this is a very powerful laptop running at the peak TDP levels. Oh my god, I'm falling left behind from this live video. Oh no, don't fall behind. I've heard that the Legion laptops throttle after 1 to 2 months. I didn't. Okay, my chat just updated, and so I lost that. But I'm pretty sure I read the whole thing, the whole comment. I don't know about that. That seems unlikely. Because I mean, it's not like your CPU paste is going to dry out in 1 to 2 months, but I would say maybe after a year or two, you could see reduced thermal performance with the CPU paste, and you might need to repaste it. So we need GPU temperature, usage, core clock, memory clock. Yeah, memory clock. Power, temp limit. So these ones right here, the limit options here in Afterburner will let you know if your GPU is throttling for some reason. And whatever reason it is, it'll display that reason. So that's what you want to click those ones. And then we want frame rate, average, and 1% low. Boom. Okay. All right. There we go. Skabam skadoodle. We're ready to cook this a noodle. Almost. Okay. Boom. Run. Timespy. Go. I'd rather go 144 hertz G-Sync than 300, 360 without G-Sync, unless you're an esports pro player. I don't think I want a screen I think I want a screen smooth for 1 to 2 games that can be played at this FPS. I think that just depends a lot. Like if you're constantly playing high refresh rate games, like you said, esports like Apex Legends, there's lots of those games out there that are optimized for frame rates. Um, then it aired out for some reason. Did I cancel it on accident? Let me go ahead and restart the system because we got this green tinting going on. Like I think the best blend is like for example on the Scar 15 I have FreeSync, 165 hertz, and it's a QHD high color gamut display. So it's like it ticks all the boxes for display quality. Um, High resolution, high color gamut, high response time, um, and good amount of brightness too. So I don't know. Yeah, but I don't think going above 144 hertz is that beneficial. It is noticeable, but it's not like massively noticeable. I'm a single player gamer. QHD is perfect. Yeah, I agree with that. Schwooty woot. If you're a single player gamer, then you don't need more than 144 hertz, really. Like going above 144 hertz is pretty much overkill. Going above 90 hertz, really, like above 90 is where it becomes diminishing returns, I think. Um, like it is noticeable, but it's not like dramatic. Like I can notice a visual difference from 60, 90, 120, 144. Going above 144, that's where it is noticeable going to 240 or 300. But the simple fact is, a lot of games won't be able to hit that kind of consistent frame rate unless it's a super optimized game like Valorant or Fortnite or something, CS:GO. Psychedelic. Uh, okay, psychedelic. I'm sorry if you have to keep asking the same question. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. All right. Give me an answer, Sir Gizmo. 4K 120 hertz or Full HD 300 hertz for Zephyrus Duo. I would go 4K 120 hertz because it's also 100% Adobe RGB color gamut on that display. And then I wouldn't even use the 4K. I would just run it at QHD resolution. QHD 120 hertz is what I would run it at. So, like, I wouldn't play my games at 4K. Because especially since it's a 15-inch display, you're not going to be able to see the difference between the 4K. I think it's just pretty much completely overkill and pointless. I don't know about pointless, but it's definitely overkill. Okay, does that help answer your question? Psychedelic. Like I think the 300 hertz display is not as high a color gamut. I think it's only like 72% Adobe RGB or something, where the 4K one is like 100% Adobe RGB and it's really bright, like 400 nits or something. So it's like really good blend. Nassim Yasser said, you said in a live stream that the Zephyrus G15 starts at $1,500. So does it not come with a Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7 version? So it still comes with a no, the cheapest G15 starts at 1,500, I think, Nassim. And I think the cheapest version comes with the I can double check it on the sheet. But I'm pretty sure the cheapest version, Zephyrus G15, yeah, it comes with a Ryzen 9 5900HS. That's the cheapest version with an RTX 3060 for 1,500, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid. Okay, we still have the green tinting going on for some reason, or is that just me? No, that's definitely green tinting. I don't know what's going on with the green tinting. Let's see if we can get this thing to run. We might need to continue updating drivers. Oh, is Afterburner running? Gotta make sure Afterburner's running. Make sure nothing else is sweet. Doesn't look like anything else is taking up juice. think that may have canceled the run there when I alt-tabbed, but I want to make sure I close Task Manager. We'll have to restart it, it looks like. What's the price of this laptop? This laptop is $28.99. Silicon shortage is getting worse, not better. Yeah. Might need to change the power scheme and NVIDIA control panel. Maybe Dave Collins. Yeah, I have to restart this. It glitched out when I alt-tabbed. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this green tinting. It's pretty weird. Okay. Here we go. We're running it again. I think we don't need to change anything else. Best 17 inch is a Lenovo Pro. I don't. Maybe for display quality. What's the best 17 inch laptop on the market? You may be looking at it. Be curious. Out of all the 17 inch laptops, this is definitely one I would consider to be. This is definitely one I would consider to be close to the top, if not the top. How do you know if you have the 300 watt or 150 watt plus 3070 GPU? What are you talking about? 300 what? How's the Advanced Optimus on the Alienware R4 was able to configure 3080 with that screen? Oh, really? Nice. I don't know. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so our TDP hitting 151 watts. Our temperatures are not spiking at all. That's great. It's great to see. We don't have our CPU power limit up here. I don't think that was an option for some reason in Afterburner, so probably have to add that in with HW info into the overlay. Am I going to play Fortnite? During the live benchmarks, I will be playing Fortnite on this GE76. Nice, Nazhor. You got it. You got it for $27.99 plus better CPU. That's good. Good deal, man. Yeah, there's no 300 watt laptop GPUs. I do have extreme performance turned on in the Dragon Center with the Max Fans enabled, Cooler Boost enabled. Is this Intel or AMD? This is Intel with a $28.99 price point. Yeah, the thermals are stellar, but this isn't really a thermal test, you know? So it is interesting that we're not really spiking up to 155 watts. We're just kind of at like 153, 155. Okay, there's 155. 156. Nice. Okay. But it was like hanging around 150 a lot, which was kind of surprising me. But the nice thing is this thing's not going to go below 150, right? Like my Scar 15, it can go up to 130, right? But it's going to dip down to 115 a lot. In a lot of the games, probably like 70 to 80% of the games, it's going to get that dip down to 115. So the true wattage in most of the games is 115. Where the true wattage of this laptop is 150 watts in all the games, and then in some games it's going to go up to 155. So that's really the reason why this laptop's going to really crank out the frame rate really well. We are getting some of that green tinting going on in the actual games here. There's definitely some kind of driver issue or something. Why is the FPS so low? That's because this is an extremely demanding benchmark. Don't this is a this is a this is a um, this is a benchmark where if you're getting like 50 or more FPS, you're doing good. You're doing real good. So, but like it's just gonna obviously vary depending on like we're only getting 32 FPS right now. This is the CPU benchmark, but it just depends. So, but don't look at that. You don't for this kind of a thing. You don't look at the FPS. You look at the final score only. And there you go, 12,692 with 9,500 on the CPU. That is obviously really good. And if we were to overclock the GPU, We could probably get this thing to go above 13,000 pretty easily. If we were just to slap plus, I don't know if we could do a plus 100 overclock. I'm really curious. Can we do a quick overclock? We'll just try a plus 100 and a plus 200. Plus 100. Okay. We're going to try an overclock. Let's see what happens. A quick OC. After you benchmark, check to see if the green tinting is from the MSI True Color app. Okay, interesting. That may be part of it. Robotic Venom Legion 5 Pro QHD released in US for 3060, by the way, only 1350. Where did you see the link, or where do you buy Robotic Venom? Is it on Lenovo's website? I'm curious. I'm gonna do a quick check. I check this I check their website pretty frequently, but I haven't checked it in a couple days. So far, it looks like the overclock is pretty stable, but I'm not noticing a massive increase for the clock speed though. Um, checking there. My GE70 3070 does plus 350 to the core. Really? Is it actually, do you actually see a bump that high? Because I just don't think you'd see that bump that high. Like it probably wouldn't be stable. Um, I don't know. Because even if you can, like it's probably dynamically downclocking would be my guess. And it's not really boosting that high, but maybe it is. I've just never seen a laptop upclock that much and stay stable. The most I've seen is about 200 or so. I'm looking on Lenovo's website and none of the Ryzen 5000 series are out. So I don't know where you're saying that it's launched Robotic Venom. So looks like our overclock is staying stable though. I'm not really okay. So there was a point where I saw 1860, but I'm not sure what this clock speed was before. I think it was 1600 something. So maybe we are getting higher clocks compared to our first run. So I'm not going to do another run after this one. This will be the last one. Thoughts on the Alienware M15R4? I think it's a really good option, Charlie J, especially if you get the Advanced Optimus version. Um, you can see on my spreadsheet of RTX 3000 laptops, it's one of my top recommended laptops. And it's actually probably close to my #1 recommended laptop around its price point. Though I think the Alienware M15R5 might be slightly better because you get their AMD version, AMD processor in that instead of the Intel. My GE76 can play some games at plus 210 core stably, but I lowered it to plus 140 to get 100% stability in all games of benchmarks. Yeah, that's my recommendation in terms of like if you're going to overclock it, don't go overkill. Um, as a matter of fact, my recommendation for overclocking would be to do maybe a slight overclock and then to do a bit of undervolting actually, because you'll get better thermals. Okay, so there's 13,000. 13,036. Freaking awesome. And that's just a minor overclock. I'm sure you can push this harder. Um, I have seen some with like 13,500 or something like that for some of the top scoring OCs, though that's pretty extreme. How am I liking the GE76? It's a pretty freaking awesome laptop, man. I really enjoyed the GE66, so it makes sense that I would like the GE76. You know. All right, Cinebench R20. Let's do it. Time to close down Steam for a moment, and let's get HW info running. I almost kept it the GE76, but love the Duo second screen and AMD processor. Yeah, man. I can see that. I can see that. Okay, so we're getting a solid 3.99 gigahertz, 3.89 gigahertz right now on all cores. 3.99, 3.89. So we're bouncing between 3.9 and 4 gigahertz basically. Our temperatures are spiking up into the 90s for some of the cores. We did hit thermal throttling on 3 of the cores. Our temperatures are at 95 degrees Celsius right now, 96. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see thermal throttling, and this is just because we only have 2 heat pipes to the CPU. So this is definitely not a CPU centric um, thermal solution. That said, we are pushing a lot of wattage here. Look at this. We're doing 86 watts to the CPU. So that's really high amount of wattage. That's really good. So 3912 for our first run on Cinebench R20. 3912, that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and run it a couple more times. How much is this laptop? $28.99. Just a tech, I found the Scar 15 with 3080 and Ryzen 7 5800H in stock on Amazon if you want to add it to the spreadsheet. Cool, man. Hit me up with an email. Though I just want to, like, I'm trying to not list scalpers. A lot of people on Amazon are scalping it up. Because I could list a lot of other listings of laptops that are kind of scalp listings, and I'm like, I don't really want to support scalpers. Um, yeah. Like if I ever do list a laptop that has an increased price above the retail price, I'm going to mention it in the order section. I'll be like price X amount above retail or whatever, so people know at least that it's being increased, that the price is increased. Okay, so we're hitting 3.8 gigahertz right now, and our wattage is still 85 watts, 85.6 watts. We've been averaging 87.5 watts to the CPU. That's really, really good wattage, but we're hitting exceptionally high temperatures too. 3900 or 3897, 3897 for our Cinebench R20. So that's still pretty good. These are pretty good scores for an Intel CPU. But I bet you if we were to use Intel XCU and undervolt the CPU, if MSI allows us to, um, then we'd probably be able to get right at 4,000 or a little over 4,000. Yeah, scalpers. I freaking hate scalpers, man. 4423 is the best R20 score I've gotten on my 10875 GE76. That's when undervolted. That's actually pretty impressive. That's like more than a 10% gain over my stock settings. So you can undervolt it from the BIOS without using XTU. Nice. That's good to know. Yeah, Charlie J. So all of you guys that are watching the stream and hanging out with me right now, I really appreciate y'all. I just want to mention as well that 3977 there for that score. I also want to mention that if you do want to support my channel, that spreadsheet that I have, some of those links there are affiliate links, and they do help support my channel. So if you do end up buying a laptop anytime soon, when you go to buy it, if you click through those links, um, you will at least on a lot of the links help support my channel when you purchase. But no pressure to buy. Buy whenever you feel like you found the laptop you need or want that'll meet your needs. So Um, that's my goal is not to get anyone to buy any specific laptop or thing or spend their money or whatever. My goal is just to try to help you guys find something that you'll love and actually use and benefit you for many years, and try to give you the best possible laptop that money can buy. Um, because I've been in your guys' shoes, when you're shopping for the best laptop, it's hard to figure out which one's the best one. Um, it's challenging, especially right now. This generation of laptops is uh, rough. It's laptops being sold out that are in high demand, and then trying to find one that's actually in stock. And is it actually good? Because if it was good, why is it in stock? And then you like check it the next day, and oh, it's out of stock again, and you're like, oh crap, I should have bought it when I had the chance. It's complicated this year, and then you have the Mux versus no Mux. So 39.47 on that round. So we're averaging right around 39, a little over 3,900 for our Cinebench R20 score. That's really good. Okay, let's run some Cyberpunk. I want to go in here and add CPU power. Right here, value. Okay, that should be good. I'm trying to fast forward to the live feed to get to the scores. Yeah, well, you're getting them live right now. All right, congratulations. Shopping and researching. Make sure you have no buyer's remorse. Yeah, right. That's a huge part of this. And even if you do order one, you may get canceled by the retailer. Yeah, there's a lot of people that bought the Strix G17 when it was in stock on BH Photo, and I think a lot of them ended up having their orders canceled or super delayed until like June. That's what happened to me. I ordered a Scar 17 because I was actually trying to get a Scar 17 instead of the Scar 15, but when I ended up ordering it, it was out of stock, and there had been so many back orders on the Scar 17 that they had to like basically let everyone know, hey, this is probably not going to come in until June. And I was like, okay, that's not going to help me because I need to be able to review this thing soon. Okay, here we are. I hear people were flashing the Scar 3080 to 150 watt. Yeah, Hoblet, I did that myself on mine. And in some games, I still had good thermals even. But I ended up flashing it back to stock because like some games were great, and then other games were like, oh my god, this is way too hot. It's just like nonstop thermal throttling for CPU and GPU. I didn't want that. So, okay, so we're going to run Ultra RTX, DLSS on quality, everything else turned to the maximum settings. Here we go. Okay, so we start out. Oh, right. I just thought of something. I don't think I set my benchmark buttons. I did not. There we go. All right. Almost bought a Scar 17 open box for 37.50 on eBay. Oh my god, but it was gone already. Ah, ouch. That is so expensive too. That's over $1,000 markup over the stock retail price. I almost pulled the trigger last year on a 2070 Super GE75. That's a pretty good laptop too. The GE75, good bang for the buck. I lucked out and came across a Strixcar 153080 from B&H. Had a small array of dead pixels in the corner. B&H said they'd have replacements in on May 28th. Gotcha. a date to watch on their site. Good tip. Okay, here we are. Oh, 75 FPS. Are you kidding me? 75 FPS? Okay, all right. I see you, GE76. Let's see what we get in the benchmark here. This is our little benchmark for the Cyberpunk. 74. Okay, so let me give you guys some context. Let me find out what did my Scar 15 do in this exact test. Okay, so my Scar 15 did 65. So we're doing over 10% higher right now. That's 8 FPS increase. So about 14 or so percent higher of performance above the Scar 15. Impressive. Very, very impressive. 73 and 56. Now keep in mind, none of these benchmarks are final. I'm going to redo these for my final my actual live benchmarking. But I got to say, that is incredible. 70, 73, 56. That is the best I've seen so far by a good margin. So we're going to try to find another section of the game to play. Okay, so this is one that I like to hop into. Hey, Brandon, does the bottom panel feel... How does the bottom panel feel near the light bar? Mine makes a clicking noise when I press on it. So Francisco Venegas, before I took the bottom of the chassis off, there was no clicking. Once I took the bottom of the chassis off, now I'm starting to feel a little click. I think it's related to me taking the bottom off the chassis improperly. So wow, this is really smooth. 73 FPS still. Let's go ahead and do a new average. My old wall hack aimbot sniper rifle, tech sniper rifle, is so overpowered in this game. It's really hard to aim when it's like it's like a charge up time, and it's like shaky. Okay, so there's the guy. You have to actually aim at them to see them through the wall. This guy's got it. Like the AI is so dumb when it comes to Cyberpunk when you're wall hacking. They do not like. They don't look at you or anything, you know. And it's like they don't move. They don't move in ways to like flank you very well or very quickly, and they just like take the hits, and you're like, okay, all right, well, Cyberpunk's on easy mode now. I think so. It made me like not finish the game because I'm like, I can just kill everything easily with the sniper rifle. Okay, so we're averaging 70 FPS in this section of the game. That's really, really good. Let's go to the middle of a city. Dave Chavez, I'm out. Brandon, see ya. Okay, see you, man. Is RTX on? Yeah, we got RTX on Ultra. DLSS on quality. Everything else set to Ultra right now for our settings. So let's see what we get now. So we're getting 70, 73, 71. Let's go ahead and juke. Hey, that guy took off before I even fired, all right? Get back here, fine. Can I take your car? Are you cool? Oh my god. I can't take a car. I just want to steal a car so I can go somewhere. Okay, did I get this guy at least? All right, I get some hot van wheels to tool around in, all right? Oh, this thing is slow as molasses. Gizmo Select Tech, do you know what SSD your GE76 has? Mine came with a um, SN730. Nazar, when I took the lid off of the chassis, I checked out the SSD model. Okay. Well, I gotta say this game really plays smoothly on the GE76. And so far, my left wrist rest has not gotten warm at all. Like my WASD keys are cool, Left wrist rest, still cool. This is a great experience right now gaming on this thing. Oh, okay. Oops. Don't mind me. Goodness gracious, the RTX looks so good. I I I really got to finish this game. Like I probably spent 20, 30 hours on the campaign and then I didn't quite finish it all the way through. Like I started doing a bunch of the side quests and stuff, got distracted, and then I got that tech sniper rifle and I was like, okay, I can just kill everything. So I just like stopped playing. Did you configure the CPU temp to show on RTS HW info? I've got CPU temperatures here, and oh, I want the power limit to show. I don't have the power limit showing right now. Okay, well we're averaging 73 FPS. Oh wait, are we not? I didn't. Don't. I guess. Oh goodness. Maybe we didn't. Okay, okay. You got a couple of. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Couple of lovers out for a stroll. We just took out the hubby. Sorry about that. Oh, we took them both out. Okay, so there's no one will be sad. That's good. Any idea if there will be an MSI GS76? I don't think so. So even this MSI is gone? Yes, this MSI has been sold out, but it comes in and out of stock very frequently. So if you keep your eye out for it, you should be able to get it eventually. Oh, what you guys doing? You guys look like you're law-abiding citizens. Oh gosh, this sniper rifle is just so OP. Okay, that guy's a nice guy. Okay, never mind. Okay, all right. So there's some Cyberpunk on the G76. Holy crap, this thing runs really, really well. Our temperatures so far have been really good, 69 and 70 degrees. Um, great FPS, the best FPS I've seen in Cyberpunk so far. Uh, nothing but positive things for the most part to say about this laptop. So we got to figure out the Wi-Fi situation. Um, And then got to figure out the Wi-Fi situation. I think that's the only issue, right, that we've had. And then I've got this, like I said, when I took the laptop apart, this wrist rest started creaking a little bit. I got to figure out how to prevent that from creaking. But other than that, really, really good. So initial impressions, G76, 2 thumbs up. I definitely can. My initial recommendation is still 2 thumbs up, just as I thought it would be. Um, I don't think it's a perfect machine, but it's certainly really really good. Nice. It's a nice increase in performance for the size increase. You know, you're getting a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, but you're also getting an increase in performance compared to something like the Scar 15 or like the Scar 17. So yeah, and this is heavier and thicker than the Scar 17. I think the Scar 17 is like 6 pounds or something, and this is like 6.6 pounds. So you're getting like another zero point 0.6 pounds of weight or something like that, somewhere in that range, like a half pound of weight or so, and then just a little thicker. But you're getting that thickness translates to directly into performance increase as well as a small price increase. This thing's a little more expensive than the Scar 15 and Scar 17. So anyway, that's why is it not the perfect machine? It is lacking a QHD display. Okay, so we don't have a QHD display. It is also lacking advanced Optimus. It has a mux switch, which gives us maximum performance, but it's not as convenient as not having to restart when you switch between battery modes. Um, what else? Hmm. Those are the two main things I would say off the top of my head. It also cannot go up to 165 power limit. The power limit's caps at 155, which is 10 less than the Alienware M17. So that's kind of another slight critique. And I definitely feel like it could go to 165 though, given our temperatures are so ridiculously low on this machine. So at least with Max Fans. G76 Sabiso says is missing Thunderbolt 3 and 4. So yeah, so QHD display, no advanced Optimus, no Thunderbolt. Um, yeah, I have a direct connection with the MSI support team, so I can talk to them and ask them what's going on with the Wi-Fi. Hopefully, we can troubleshoot that, and I'll have more details for you guys about why the Wi-Fi was acting that way for my full review. Um, yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the stream for tonight. I'm gonna I'm gonna have to wrap it up for tonight. But yeah, links in the description to this laptop if you want to check prices. Again, RTX 3000 spreadsheet in the description down below. If you want to compare performance and all that jazz, and also compare this with other laptops. Um, and yeah, Brandon signing out. Ending the stream for tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all of you. Woo woo. And for those of you guys asking questions at the last second, I did answer a lot of these questions throughout the live stream. So go back and rewatch it. Um, constantly, constantly answering questions throughout this thing. How about the sound? Oh, Ernie, you don't do this to me. You don't do this to me. Okay, let me give the sound a quick listen to. Since I was, let's just see what we got for the sound. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Mm. Sound is superb. Really, really good speakers on here. Close to the best I've heard. Maybe the best I've heard in a gaming laptop. It's near the top. I'll need to do some measurements with my sound decibel meter and listen to it some more with more different kinds of music, but this is the song I check each laptop with. It's really, really good. Very clear, crisp, decent amount of bass, good mids and highs. Maybe a little bit like crackly with like the punchy bass there. I don't know. I have to listen to it some more, but very good first impression for the sound quality. Yeah, yeah. Is this better than the Alienware M17? I don't know about that. Be curious. I think the Alienware M17 would be very, very close to this one in terms of performance and specs and overall experience. So that's going to be a tough decision, I think, between this one and the Alienware M17. I think a lot of people are going to have a tough time deciding between those two. Maybe I should do a comparison video between those two. Subscribe. Subscribe for future videos comparing this versus the other laptops. Um, Hopefully, I can get some time to make some of those videos. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Brandon out. Peace.